Hi, and welcome to the Merritt Family Podcast. We blowing up. Join me and my three boys on our business journey as we trip, fall, and fumble our way trying to figure out how to grow our family business from 10 million to 100 million. And let me tell you, that ain't easy. Learn from our past mistakes and no doubt the ones that we'll be making here very soon. So, if you happen to be trying to figure it out just like we are, then follow us because we blowing up.
Another episode of We Blowing Up. How we blowing up this week? Have we blown up
Are you
yet?
sure you blew up so good, Dave? You lost your voice.
That is true. I was just screaming so much this from all the wins this last week or so that I was just like too amped up here. So
you know what we have to do?
Sounds like you're not far behind, Drew.
We've got to put the picture. Remember the one when we did the giveaway and we did the Yay Link giveaway?
Gosh.
Then remember the faces?
What did we do?
You don't want to know.
That should be the thumbnail of this video. It's all of us going like
yeah. You literally looked like a T-Rex.
Yeah, you were like
David's is hilarious.
Me and Drew, we were just like like a UFC doing a knock, like knocking someone out, and you're like
So the first question really comes down to are beards good for business? I think in Dustin's case,
got cut in half this last week.
What was that you said, Drew? Is beer good for business?
Oh, nice try, buddy.
Well, business over brews. What are you talking about?
That was retired real good. That show should never exist again.
The best part about that show. No, it was great. The drinking, having a new beer every time, and then making sure we get to a second one before that episode ended. That was the best part.
Yeah, so not only did we talk about a little bit of business, but also have a few brews in the process, and then be able to critique. I don't know, it seems like a pretty good format to me.
Yeah, we're like, this one was brought to you by someone that probably doesn't want us sponsoring.
That's right.
To be sponsoring.
I did not sponsor this show.
Yeah.
Cease and desist.
Right.
Drink responsibly.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's going to be a good episode today.
That's a good one.
So it sounds like we got a little bit of low energy going on here, boys. We need to pump up the volume. Come on. What's happening?
If you want to pump up the volume, you can just click the on button for the phones if you want, and you'll be getting a lot of activity. That's for sure.
You'll have a lot of calls ringing to your phone.
As soon as you hang up, the next one is ready for you.
Well, it sure beats the Maytag repairman.
Why is that? I don't get it. I think that's past my time.
That's good. Then you have to look it up. Because I'm not telling you.
Oh, yeah, you made that one clear.
That's right. Maytag repairman. Look it up. Google,
is that like the milkman?
No. No, it is completely not. Yep. Nope.
Isn't that weird that they actually used to deliver milk to your doorstep? Do you remember that, Dad? Is that your day?
Yeah.
Dad probably delivered the milk.
Well, I'm like, okay, I'm old, but I'm not that old. Come on.
Like, I think that would be like equivalent to the mailman or something, but it was like the milkman, right?
Yeah, you had the garbage man, the milkman, the mailman. You had all kinds of men.
Where's the women at? Why is everything about?
They didn't have women doing those jobs.
Yeah, I think it was like, they were like, the 1950s. It's like the rule book for the women and stuff, and it's like, okay, so you need to be dressed up in a certain, dress, and you need to put your makeup and put yourself together. The house should be tidy. Dinner should be ready. Then when he comes home, you have to greet him wonderfully. Help take his jacket off or something like that. Put his feet up on a little area right here. Here's a little something for you.
Yeah. And for what it's worth, it didn't always go down that way, by the way.
I'm sure.
I mean, not at least not in my house.
Yeah, and I wonder who wrote that manual. Do you think it was a man or a woman?
Yeah, well,
I
it
always
wasn't
think with all these names. Oh God! Oh no! That's what David was. That's why David was quiet. Oh Lord! That was when we used to do the giveaway show. That's coming back, coming back, coming back. Worldwide, worldwide, worldwide.
It's gonna be better than ever.
I like it. I think you guys did a great job on that show.
Yeah, you did. You are our number one fan.
I was. I was in there just fielding all kinds of questions.
The show didn't grow, but the same audience kept showing.
They loved it.
They did.
Yeah, they liked it.
So there's 2 shows that we're talking about doing. One, it's a sponsored brand show, and that's this month. Hopefully, we'll have the products to give away on the actual show, and we're scheduling that for 20 days from now. And then the other one that I pitched you guys that we should do is the at the end of the year we'll have a award show because we sell all sorts of different brands. So we're like, what headset was best in each of these 10 different categories? Definitely when I've mentioned it to a couple of the brands, they want to sponsor the event and see how they can get their product or brand into that
higher
position.
rated.
Well, of course.
Shameful.
It becomes a fight. That's what Eddie, who we talked to, Dave, that was the same thing when he has sponsors, and then he has these sponsors that are all fighting for the top spot and whatnot. And so,
this is what
how do you navigate those waters?
This is what happens on Google and Amazon and stuff. It's like, oh, I want to be seen when somebody types in, headset advisor. No, Amazon does. No, headset advisor. So you're just constantly bidding on their system to just give them more money.
Well, think about when we went to that channel partners in Vegas, and remember it was to the highest bidder, which booth is gonna get the alcohol booth privilege. So so you could have alcohol at booths, but only during a certain amount of hours or certain time frame. But only one booth who paid the most money was able to have alcohol before those hours. So then they would lure in all the traffic because they were willing to spend the money. Everyone's like, "Where's the alcohol? Where's the alcohol?" Okay, go to that booth, and everybody goes to that booth because they're the only one. So they paid for the traffic, and so they were the highest bidder. So that's just like that, relentlessly in life. Period. It's just a lot of the times the big names you see, it's like there's a lot of money that they put.
I was thinking about those type of shows, and maybe it's better to be in person for those shows, but it's just I got to imagine that there's a virtual way to do something that feels kind of like that, on a big scale that's actually of value to a lot of our partners, headset advisor.
Some people that I learned after watching that show from Eddie. That's they have a show every Wednesday called Whiskey Wednesday. If you're watching this, Eddie, huge shout out to you. Their show was cool because they mixed up a lot of valuetainment. They were bringing on experts in certain categories. But then what I really liked is that they had an after party. So everyone would get this link to join after the event. And then one lady joined in and she was loving the community because she doesn't have a lot of community in her life or something, or she, struggling and connecting with other people in some way. And she was on that show and she had the biggest smile on her face. Wow, there's other humans like-minded like me. So yeah, I think if we can create a show that could build community, I think that creates some raving fans for life.
I just think about an event that's in Vegas or something, and it's all these people flying from all over the world, spending all this money to travel, and then your attendance is only limited to as many people as people can afford to send, and is it worth your while? You got to spend this for us. We got to invest a week of time to going. So, like, is there a way to like make an online event as epic? Yeah, have after parties, have all these like different communities and groups, and I just wonder if there's a better way to do it. But maybe it's just in person's better for that stuff.
Well,
Yeah, I
it,
think
it also opens up the door, to have the conversation about whether it's as effective to be in person versus virtual. I mean, can you accomplish the same thing virtually as you can, say, face to face? And I don't know. I think there's arguments both ways, but I think there is value to, being in person and face to face. I think we talked about this, I think maybe last episode a little
'Cause
bit.
I think Zoomtopia, I think that's like a in person slash virtual event, and then they're having all these watch parties. So like these like vendors and partners or customers will create these areas that other Zoom related people will go and watch this like event they're putting on.
yeah, I mean the in person. There's a lot more friction to in person, as you guys know. Getting us in person is a very challenging thing. I mean, even a lot of these people that want to get us to these events, so they're like, "Hey, I'll give you a bunch of money," and we're like,
Yeah,
Like,
they have to bribe the hermits out of their caves.
yeah, we're like, I'd rather be nice and comfy and just poor. Like it's like I'm fine with that. But so there's like a lot of resistance to stopping your daily work, to booking hotels and flights, and then just okay, now you have to get out of your comfort zone and meet all these people in slightly awkward scenarios and then weed through people having motives and all this stuff, connecting and getting to these different parties and trying to pass out business cards or something like that. So there's a lot of resistance to that. So a lot of people, I think less people will do that. That being said, the people that do that, they're by their very presence in being there, they're demonstrating that there's a level of commitment to them, to whatever they're, to them being in this industry. There's like a more serious tone or nature if you're going to even be somewhere like that. So you might be like actually a real factor in the industry, or somebody that's a little bit better to work with on average, maybe. That being said, with the virtual events, you have a lot less resistance, but because there's less resistance, less cost, then there's probably also less chance that people show up. They can just kind of, I forgot about it, or I'm just not going to show up, or something like that.
Yeah,
But then you get
that's a good
access
point.
to a broader, community. So then the question is like how Drew said, it's like, you know, common interest. So like that lady on that show, the whiskey show or whatever, she's like has such a smile on her face, like, oh my gosh, there's other people that are interested in this stuff. Like this is so awesome, right? So I have a common interest. So that's kind of cool, bringing people together with a common interest. Maybe to have a more likely chance to get people to show up to a virtual event, maybe you have to, or not have to, but maybe a better way is not just common interest. It's like identifying and promoting a common mission, which may be higher than an interest. It's like a higher thing that maybe is like, hey, I'm going to be there because it's kind of a little bit of a higher call or something like that, that all these people with a common interest are like, that's a mission. I got to show up to this thing. So I don't know what that exactly means, but I'll throw that out to the group and see if you guys have any thoughts.
But
If
like
not,
my
next topic.
here's my idea. What if next year I don't know what we call it, but I'm just going to use this name for the idea. It's Headset Advisor Tech Summit 2023. We invite partners, our vendors, our customers, their customers, show off all of the latest technology like in our system. I know there's other like shows that do this type of thing, but it's like put on, run by us,
Mhm.
and Like, yeah, it's probably not going to be big at first, but I'm sure we could get a decent amount of people to attend based on our network.
I guarantee if we put our minds together, we would get. It would be an interesting show to attend. I'll tell you that much. It wouldn't be like every other show out there. It would be a whole lot of last minute stuff somehow coming together properly. But it would be fun.
A cool thing too is that so it could be the Headset Advisor Summit, but because we've got a lot of different connections with manufacturers and service providers, we can probably get or at least pitch to get a lot of sponsors for the event to help make it cool. So it could be all headset manufacturers, for example, can sponsor. We can also have service providers sponsor, because all of those people would have an interest in getting like tech consultants in a same place.
Yeah.
So I think that we could be
I'm not talking for tech consultants. This is more end user focused. Maybe both, but I'm thinking more like end user.
Both would be fine. I think the service providers and the manufacturers would be interested in both, either tech consultants or end customers.
The consultants would be interested in the customers, and
so then that's how you'd get them there. There's customers.
And then invite them. Yeah.
And then exactly. But the customers, so you have to figure out, okay,
the customers are coming into this
manufacturers and service
territory.
providers, you better plunk down some heavy prizes and stuff for these customers to come through, like giving them like iPhones and whatever you got to do to get them in there.
Yeah, because you gotta incentivize them real good to. It's like when you go to the mall and every single person sitting there pitching you. So getting them primed and prepped for what they're about to experience, there better be a good enough reason why they're going to show up to that.
Yeah, well, that's
because
the Lion's Den.
Everybody wants the end user. I mean, that's the objective. Whether you're a partner, whether you're a manufacturer, ultimately it flows down to the people that actually end up buying and using the product. So, yeah, they're sort of a moving target, you might say. So, yeah, very important.
Well, that's the same for us, Dad. We've been targeted by all the manufacturers, and back in the glory days, getting taken out to lunches all the time and whatnot, and me being so new in the industry, I'm like, why do they do this? And so, obviously, as time's gone by, it all makes sense. So we were the people they were trying to have a good relationship with, so we would sell more of their products to end customers.
Right. That's right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So in that particular example, it could be either that they're working with their resellers to try to improve their position so that the reseller will end up selling more of their product, or in the case of a lot of manufacturers, they sell to the end user. So it's, one way or the other, they're trying to get more of their product moved,
Definitely. So we think this is a good idea we're going to implement in 2023.
I think that's I think that's an awesome. That would be an awesome thing to plan out together. But just the framework of how you set it up, Dave, I think it makes total sense. The key again would be, I know we can get the partners and the manufacturers there for sure. Getting the end customers there, or there would have to be some sort of rules of the land. Like, this person is not a partner, they're a customer of ours, or customers are here. Don't just ransack everyone and start pitching them relentlessly. It would have to be more of a
we could do like
inclusive, like some inclusive stuff.
Yeah, like they pay for a workshop, or we arrange certain like little groups or certain meetings and help facilitate those.
It's almost like breakout meetings,
Yeah.
Or we could just have like a rule set where for manufacturers and partners that and like service providers, let's say, or whatever, partners that show up, the end customers are. This is not a pitch. This is no pitch zone. This is information and relationship. So it's just like, you can meet people. They can ask you questions. You can respond to the questions, and and if they want more information, we can. I don't know. There could be, like how Drew's saying, like laws of the land or something.
Yeah, you're basically saying it's a code of conduct.
Yeah, so that the end customers know that it's a safe place to learn, because it is beneficial to them to learn about the products that are going on, the services that are out there, just their options, a lay of the land, to really see what's going on and what's all available to them, and why they all may be beneficial, in a safe place where they're not just going to go and just get the relentless pitch, because that's just a terrible situation, um, to feel like you're just arriving at some event and then all of a sudden it's the lion's den. It's more like, hey, let me go there to learn about it. It's not heavy pitch, it's learning. And then, yes, I may be interested in working with some of these folks that it seems like these companies would resonate at, like, further conversation. And then for them being there, they get to eat and they get drinks and they get, maybe some little goodies or something like that to take with them. And then they're getting maybe presentations. They can watch presentations, so it's not forced, but they can choose to view, like, oh, let me learn a little bit about Ring Central, or whatever the topic is, and then they can go around to the booths and, hey, what's going on, and ask questions and conversations. But the people that are like manning the booths need to, the code of conduct would be kind of be friendly, answer questions, but leave it at that, unless the person is trying to, they're very interested and they want to, like, discuss later or something like that.
Dave, another cool thing that we can do to mix the in person with the booths and all of that is try to stream it live somehow, and then also have some entertaining stuff there that people watching are, they're like, somehow they can learn live, however that would look, and then also they can be entertained live. So, like Dad pulling out his guitar in the middle of the room and everyone's watching Dad play his guitar.
They don't want to hear that, trust me.
No, I know what you mean though. Like, it's there's like entertainment,
Yeah, mix it.
and it's like a good live stream event slash a good in person event.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a really interesting idea. Like, do you think we can get
It's
people
like
to
running a
go?
show, man. It's like
Yeah,
literally like you're like the news station or something. Like
yeah, like
they have this
it's
scene
an
and that
event.
scene, then they're reporting on this, or
Yeah.
this person's reporting at the event. Or is there other events that do something live like that? They have an in person with these people that have these booths and all that, and then they also run the event live. Like you'd have to set it up like how the Jake Paul and Logan Paul guy did, whatever that one crazy
The
thing
Thriller.
was. Yeah, like one
Yeah, it's like
second they're
Thriller.
doing like slap boxing, the next
Yeah,
minute he's going backstage.
yeah, yeah. You
Yeah,
got
that's, I mean, yeah, there's live, like, say, you know, WWE or something, and then you can go watch it live. But then when you're watching it on TV, it's a different experience, because they have, like, backstage and all that, where you can't see that when you're in person. So it's a different experience. So there may be a way, like, here's how we're going to broadcast it to TV. Here's the experience live, or something like that. Um, I don't know though. This is just, the more we talk about this, it sounds like a lot of work.
Oh,
I mean, we
if you
could
want,
start.
if you want to do it right, and make it a very, very successful event, yeah, there would be a lot of work involved in that, no doubt about it.
Yeah, it's like, like, not only could we get our customer network, but I feel like we could tap into other customers' network that we currently can't get for whatever reason. Um,
We
could
could always
be,
start small. We could always do
yeah,
just like a small mini event for like a certain percentage of partners and our manufacturers at something very low key, and just start testing the theory to start. And then if
yeah,
we're like,
do like
oh,
a
these people show up, they
hotel.
liked it, then you're like, oh, now let me start to maybe put
Yeah,
some thought into it.
that's what they always talk about, that with us, with the local. They're like, let's do a local. They always say that, so that kind of makes sense. Like, try one of these local with, hey, we have customers who have worked with us for a long time in our local area. Let's create like a little event, a mini event like that around them, and invite all of them and see if it works. And then if it works, try another local somewhere, and so on. And if it works, then we can try like a regional one. And then before you know it, you're like get everyone to come out there if it was like this big thing.
Yeah, it'd be nice for us to like lead the thing. 'Cause then it's like your name attached to everything. So,
yeah.
I don't know, just an idea. Like, I see the Headset Advisor Tech Summit someday.
I think we could do that. It would obviously require some, some time and planning and all of that, and obviously some expense. We'd have to leverage a lot of technology in order to do it right. But I think if all those pieces came together, I think it could be really fun.
I agree.
Yeah, the cool part about all the sponsors too is they don't have to just sponsor with money. They can sponsor with, hey, I'll do we have a whole video squad that can do all fill in the blank. So there's like they can use their resources more than just money. It's like with their talent, their abilities. Yeah, so we could tell them the vision and then get all the pieces put together. That doesn't mean we know how to do any of it. We just brought everything together and then they execute on it all.
Sounds good. Yeah, definitely something we should probably explore.
I know, definitely being the one in control or the one running the party always seems a lot better than not being the one. Because on the other one, it's like, or if you want to be a sponsor on things like what we were talking about on that last show, it's like you have to sponsor to get onto the show and stuff. But if we have our own show, then people will be trying to come out, trying to talk to us to sponsor our show. And we'd have full control. So full control in all cases, the products we sell, everything, the processes we implement, the shows we make, having full control. You can't beat having full control and not having someone else dictate your success.
Agreed.
Well, I thought about that idea and thought I'd share it. I think it's one we should definitely explore.
Do you think something like that would help us to blow up?
Hang on, keep it there, Dad. Keep it there. I didn't zoom in on you. There it is. We're blowing up.
Oh no! Oh no!
I would think so. Like, I mean, like how much? Okay, so we're dominant on YouTube content. We're dominant on blog content. We're like social media content. We're maybe somewhere close, like in our space. Like, you got to think about it.
We're pretty bad.
We're like definitely bottom of the barrel.
Like, I still think we're above 50%. Like, out of how bad we are.
Yeah, I mean, but that's not saying much.
I mean, look at the competition. Like, look at the competition.
Yeah, but still, it's like just if you like you could be. It's like you're better than the heap, but it's like, yeah, but you still no one sees it, kind of a thing. It's like,
yeah. Anyways, all right. So we got a lot of work to do.
Got some work to do. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it's like these guys are doing like a headset tech show, like, or like a live event. It's like that's a lot.
Well, I think the live event too, if we were to do that probably reverse engineers our blow up on social. Like, if we were successful at the event guy, because then all of a sudden you're like the cool guy. And when the cool guy posts,
if we just bring like all these vendors together to show off
if you bring the whole, like, you got like one of those big events and you're the one, like, you're like, in that little world, in that room, you're famous. So then everyone's connected with you on social and you do a post and everyone loves, they're just commenting because it's you're that guy, right? So you all of a sudden became that guy. So I think that could reverse engineer success on the social, is actually doing the in-person. Because the thing, like, say for me, I post on social, pretty much no one ever likes my stuff, but I see some of them viewing it. And so, but the thing is, because they don't know me like that. Because I never made relationships with people. I'm not known. It's just this random guy. posting, so they see it and they're like, or whatever they're thinking. Who knows what they're thinking? I have no idea. But what I
what
do
they're
know is that they
thinking
don't
is
click the button.
what they're doing is this.
Well, some because
He's
it's
been scrolling.
impression, but then there's others it shows how many views, and it shows impressions, and then it shows views and watch time. So you can see that like a decent amount of people are viewing it, but they're like not. If, say for example, we were running events and they're shaking your hand and you're hanging out in these places, and then you post that, they're probably commenting like, oh man, yeah, that's so true or something, and liking it because they just know you on a different level like that. But without that, pure crickets. So I think you have to, it doesn't mean you have to do the in person to get that, but like for example, if I was more engaged with other people's posts and online and tagging them and all that, then all of a sudden they would start to do that. Whichever way you go, it takes a lot of work. You're not just going to start randomly posting and then it works, most likely. At least that I think you have to like
Oh yeah,
engage with communities.
yeah, of course. Just doing a random post once a month, or like, hey,
No,
let me
even
go
once a
ahead and
day. Once a day.
yeah, random post once a day, or like, hey, here's a link to my blog, or here's a link to our YouTube video. It's like all the platforms don't want that. They want you to be on their platform. So if you post a link to go to your YouTube channel, that's going to take them off, say LinkedIn, for example. LinkedIn looks at you bad when you do that. And it's not only just posting, but it's also connecting with other people and actually talking to them, actually commenting on their posts, actually hitting them up in the DMs, not trying to give them a big long sales pitch. It's just a long term strategy. It's not like overnight you're on LinkedIn or social media and then you're DMing everybody and now all of a sudden everyone's following you. It's just a long term strategy.
Yeah. So I think like if I kept posting on LinkedIn every single day, solid content every single day, every single day, every single day, crickets forever.
You think so?
I do. I do.
I mean,
I do.
maybe with
I think
content you're posting, yeah, but
I
so
think if you
that
made
any
some
of
good
these, and then these clips stink.
well, yeah, they probably do. We're not that good yet. Like we
Well,
got
so then there you
like
go.
like let's
oh
say fast
yeah.
forward to like 100th episode, and hopefully we've improved a little bit and actually get into the podcast studio and like amp some things up, get it a little bit more lively here, like, and your content is better. Drew, wake up.
Oh, sorry. Ooh.
Like the content is actually better, and you post that for every day, and and it's
I I don't know.
contextual to the platform.
I
I
don't
think
I don't think it's that. I think
I do.
I think it's that after, or a mix of, you're engaging with other people's posts, like you're becoming like an engaged member of the overall larger community, or at least within your niche realm, and then you're doing that and then you post, but you keep doing that and then you post, you keep doing that and then you post. So now people are like, oh, this guy engages and he likes my stuff and comments my stuff, then I see his post, oh, I'll drop a little comment or something like that. I think it works more like that. At least that's what I'm seeing. I think that if I kept posting this, as long as every single day, and we're getting better, 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 crickets. That's my belief.
I don't think so, because there's somebody like Mr. Beast or something that will just come up with extremely entertaining content for the platform, and then you'll just get mass views, and he wouldn't have to engage with anybody on anything.
Well,
So
so then is this on a pathway to get like that?
I mean, even like the full send or impulsive, it's like you don't have to be doing all this things that you just talked about. It's just like keep doing a good job at the show and then chop it up and post it, and it'll do good for them.
Okay, so just to confirm, your belief is that if we keep doing this and we keep posting and cutting these clips, and I keep posting these clips every single day, that eventually my engagement's going to go up quite a bit.
I don't know about this show. I know,
It depends
that's
what
a
you're talking about, because
That's
like
what I'm talking about.
But
yeah,
if we can make this show like actually valuable to a lot of people and they agree that it's valuable, then yeah, absolutely. Like if it's like a
mhm.
show that's like worthy of watching to the people that we're trying to target, uh yeah,
Yeah, for example, our post that I did on the episode of Dustin's like, well, what are we doing here? And I was like, this is a podcast, I think, just about nothing. And then Dad said whatever he said. That got a lot of engagement. I got tons of
you posting
engagement.
it though, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
People
but
like
you're
it.
more active with people on. If I post that, I could post that right now. I bet you I wouldn't get engagement.
Was it you talking?
What was it? What was the clip? What?
This podcast is going nowhere.
Well, we're going to the moon.
What's the clip?
I don't know. I don't remember the name.
Oh, well, my point is that what I'm trying to say is that I believe if I posted that clip, I don't know what what you're referencing, but if I post the clip, low engagement. If you post the clip, you're like, look, it got a lot of engagement. And so that would then at least be a little bit more of an indicator toward my theory, because you're more engaged in online community with all these people, and then you post. Me, I'm not at all, and then I post and it doesn't do that.
But like I posted another one like one on from this podcast. I think I posted a couple, and those things are just flopped. They just no one's engaging in none of that.
Yeah.
None of that was exciting, entertaining. They were definitely not educated. I'll tell you that much. They watched that for about 2.5 seconds and said, "All right, I need to keep scrolling."
Well, I kind of have a feeling that the clips that we get out of this episode is kind of going to go a similar path.
Oh yeah, it's definitely going that way.
Well, the thing about this though, isn't this a true issue? Like, isn't this a real issue for not for us, for like people in general? Like,
sure.
What we're talking about right now is like what do I post and why doesn't it get engagement and what is this like? And maybe you have to engage more and maybe you need to do like, isn't it all like isn't it largely I get that there's like strategies and there's proven things, but isn't a lot of this a lot of times a mystery, right, where we're at in the media realm, or no?
Yeah, it's all I agree, but it's all and adding to that, it's extremely psychological. And when you make a show like this and you put yourself out there like we are right now, which I want no part of, but I think there's value in doing it so people can get an idea of who we are. You put yourself out there, and when you go to post this stuff, if you start getting either crickets, no views, or you have everyone saying you're the absolute worst, that devastates people. So they're like, yeah, I think I'm just not going to go down that road and put myself out there like we're doing right now. So it's really psychological too, doing this, and like what we're doing is we have to stay consistent, and that's hard as well.
Yeah, luckily we're 6 episodes in, so we're 6 out of the 50 that we committed to.
Hey, my theory worked. My theory did work.
What is your theory?
If we were going in the office, I probably wouldn't make it.
Yeah.
Doing it at home, I can easily make it.
Yeah, I know.
I have no excuse for myself not making it on a video screen.
Yeah, that's a good point, because it might be like the 50th. It's like, oh dang, we actually need to go do the in-person thing, and then, but then you already gained the audience. You already started the flow. So, TBD.
Yeah. I don't know. I think a lot of these is like, it seems like, because I think we started off so like on this show, like, yes, we just do some preaching like this way, and this is the success recipe and all this stuff. But I think in the first episode, if I'm not mistaken, it was like the podcast about knowing nothing. It was like that clip.
That was the clip.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah,
because that was a good clip. Everyone loved that clip because, and that was my point, is it was good content. It was actually a good clip. It got some entertainment. People saw value in that, whether they thought it was funny or they're like, yeah, I feel the same exact way. Our other clips so far, to me, when I look back at ours, I'm like, nah.
Yes, we got to get better at storytelling. We got to get better at uncovering needs and presenting and.
Well, my point though what I was trying to make is that we never claimed that we were the expert know-it-alls. We were what we said was we don't know nothing, and we're on the path to to figuring it out and go along the journey with us. So a conversation like this, what we're having, this is the reality. Like, I don't know.
I don't.
Well, I have to believe that there are a lot of people in business who understand that, having a social media presence is important, to try to, get an audience, and get more relevant or whatever. But I have to. What's so funny about that?
You're like,
Dad,
whatever.
Dad hasn't been on social media. Dad hasn't been on social media. He's like, yeah, just that social media thing's good. Yeah, I think that thing's good. That's pretty good. I think it makes sense.
All right, back to my point. That there are a lot of people in business. Now, I don't care what your role in that particular business is, but there's a lot of business people that see value in social media. But to Dustin's point, is there's also a lot of those same people who really don't have it figured out because they're being bombarded daily via phone calls and emails and whatever else about, hey, I can get you, irrelevant. We have all these different algorithms that can help you improve your rankings on Google and all these other things. And a lot of times those are empty promises, as we've discovered. But nonetheless, they don't have it figured out. And just like what we're talking about, we don't have it figured out either. But like, what we normally do, we're in there swinging, trying to figure it out and trying to make our mistakes, learn from those mistakes, and keep it moving.
Yeah, I think
definitely. Like,
that's
we've
the
definitely
key.
had successes along the way. Like, there's a lot of things that we do know. It's just like we want to take a $10 million company to a $100 million company. It's like it's a it's like 10x, but it's like you got to do some crazy things in order to change a company from that revenue to that revenue,
That's a
especially at
fact.
like the kind of margins that we want to do.
Yeah, like we've spoken about before. I mean, going from say 0 to 1 is like, you can just grit and hustle.
Hmm.
Going from 1 to 10, slightly different. Going from 10 to 100, that's like you're becoming actually like kind of not a big business, but like a bigger business. So there's like it's totally different than just like go out there and sell something. There's just systems and processes and relationships and negotiate. It's just a lot to it. Oh my goodness.
Think about this. Just think about how the business operated to get to $1 million a year. Just the fundamentals of getting there. Then think for a moment about the fundamentals and the changes that we made from that to getting to 10. Really, if you think about it, that they don't even look the same. They look quite different. So going from 10 to 100, I can guarantee you this, it's going to look a whole lot different than it does today.
Yeah, that's a good point. And that's what we're trying to figure out, on this show and just every day is like, can we do it?
Yeah.
Can we do
Yeah.
it?
So I think a big part is it's that media. So coming back, social media. So that's like such a big thing, but it's all this media. So blog posts and the YouTube stuff, and then social media, getting out to the masses. And then, like, for example, we're starting to create enough demand that it's like angry time again, where like the reps on people answering the phones are like getting frustrated. There's like customers are like, does no one answer the phone? You're like, these are growing pains. It's like, so once you start getting out there more, then you're like, oh, there's more inquiry than we can handle. We got to hurry and hire. And then it's always these weird middle spots where you don't have enough people to handle all the stuff. So then you try to catch up again to get everyone, okay, everything's good. Then it goes again. Then you got to keep doing that. So maybe one of the lessons we'll learn in a little bit is maybe slightly over hiring, even though that's not as efficient, but maybe it is more efficient in the long run because you're prepared for the growth that comes. So then you can just more smoothly head on your process and while delivering good service, instead of just you deliver good service, then you have too much inquiry, bad service. Then you hire good service, then too much inquiry, bad service. So it's a sporadic service where on your growth pattern. Whereas if you hire a little bit more than necessary, then you can maybe maintain smooth growth.
Yeah, you just take the extra risk of the people. And I know, like previously, kind of before we got to this point, it's like really risky to have that extra person just consuming and not producing. And it's like we really need producers in order to bring the total revenue up, in order to, you know, make sure all the expenses of the extra, support or extra people doesn't wipe us out, or like we have to go through layoffs now and the whole uh, thing. So I don't know. It's like a hard, yeah, you want to overhire. Sounds great, but you add extra risk potentially to the finances of the business, especially when you're smaller.
And this is one of the many reasons why it ain't easy.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like let's say your inquiries like fall off 10%, 20%, and then you got somebody just twiddling their thumbs. I think you've said that comment multiple times. What are they gonna do? Just twiddle?
Yeah, and that's why, like when I worked at Roundtable, that's why when we had like there was the rush wasn't there yet, everything's all good, you're just waiting. They're like, just go scrub a window.
Yeah.
It's like the window's clean.
Like
just
you're
scrub
cleaning.
it. Scrub the window. You're like, I'm working here. And it's like that always was so ridiculous to me. Like I'd rather say just place outbound phone calls and get customers to come in tonight. Hey, you've been a customer in the past. We've got the pizza party here. Come on in. Come on. We got half off on the wings. Come on in.
Could you imagine you doing outbound calls at Roundtable back?
It would make more sense than scrubbing a clean window.
No, I always hated that too. Just my manager would be like, just act like you're doing something. It's like, act like I'm doing something. Why don't I actually do something?
I could just see you, Drew, going like this. What are you doing over there, Drew?
That's exactly what I did.
I'm pretending like I'm washing the windows.
Well, that's the thing. That's why I never understood that one. Where honestly, if there's literally nothing to do. You have nothing to do so much that you say go clean a clean window, then I honestly would rather have the employee just relax, because just let the guy relax for a second. Like he's already low wage, and just like let him, just whatever, just enjoy your time. You're going to be here for the rush and you're going to be busy in a little bit. Just sit there, do nothing, twiddle.
Well, yeah,
that's Dustin's rant.
Ready for the rush.
You can tell that happened a few times, huh?
Yeah, what's funny is my manager in that case would also, if it really just people weren't coming in, she would just send people home. And then like an hour later, she's calling people to come back because she's like, oh, the rush is here. And I'm just like, what is going on?
Yeah,
whatever.
Yeah, so you're trying to save a couple bucks. Yeah.
Oh, they should have had a red phone,
like
bro.
$50.
They should have had a red phone when it was like, all right, there's nobody, there's nothing to do, no customers are coming in. It's time for the red phone. And that red phone's going to look real heavy. You go over to the red phone and, I'm calling from Papa John's.
Yeah, or just like start going into the neighboring businesses, like walk in, like I don't know what you're gonna do, but start luring them in. They're headed over there. If there's a big line of them going in there, hey, come on in here. You can take a seat right away, 50% off. Let's get you in here.
No, dude, they did that to me. They put me on the corner with a sign with my stupid hat on. They did that to me one time. I said, if I go out there and do that ever again, I'm leaving.
I was the pizza slice
because I would just like, nah, I'm good.
I would do the pizza slice.
Yeah, I was at the full body pizza slice. I would run and race the cars down the street, and then go to the stop sign, and then I'd do push-ups. And then I said, you. No one came in. They were like, "What is that weird guy doing?" No, but they were beep, 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 beep.
Yeah, they're probably like, I'm definitely going there.
All three of you guys are pizza alumni.
Yeah, we were gonna be. Yeah, we were gonna be like the Pizza Boys.
Hey, if all else fails, we'll switch this business to our backup plan is start a pizza business. We'll go from 0 to 1 and then be right back at 10. How are we gonna get to 100 million?
Well, we know Drew. He can handle we know Drew can handle the grill and the oven. So he's got them hot and ready. He's flipping them,
piping hot.
Yeah, he's seasoned. Put some season on that, baby.
Oh yeah.
Well, one thing is for sure is that if you guys opened up a pizza parlor and you you got it in your mind that you're going to make this a really successful pizza parlor, I have no doubt in my mind that it would be really, really successful.
No, I agree. We call it Pepe's.
I don't know what you call it, but
it's not that, huh? You didn't like that one. You didn't like that one.
It's Pepe's. I like it.
Yeah, pepperonis.
It's called Pepe's. It'll put some pep in your step.
Thank you for calling pepperonis. How can I help you?
I'd like to order a pizza. Okay, you get a pepperoni because that's all we've got. Bye.
Oh my gosh!
I think Saturday Night Live did a skit on that. Only it was hamburgers. It was with John Belushi. Boigies. They said, "Yeah, I think I'll have a ham sandwich." Yeah, boigie. Whatever they wanted, it was. Yeah. He had a toothpick in his mouth, of course. Yeah, boigie.
That's what you get. You get what you get.
That's right.
So yeah, that's how we're blowing up, Dave. We're starting a pizza business now.
Yeah, called diversification.
That'd be crazy. Like let's just say, just for conversation, like we were gonna actually start a pizza business. Like we really were. What would we like, not the name and stuff, but like what would be that secret sauce to make it successful? Like what would we do?
Hey, we can't figure out this one. How are we going to figure out that one?
I mean, wouldn't the ingredient, like it would just have to be like that good ingredients, like it's like it actually is good, right?
Well, yeah,
like,
the food's got to be, food's going to have to be really good, and then on top of that, the consistency of customer service, honestly, and food industries like that, if they simply there's always a honeymoon stage when they first open the business, right? Everyone's so excited for it. Then 6 months down the road, you'll see where they're actually trending, because everyone's all excited at first. Then the morale starts going down, and you see that with a lot of new businesses. So if you can keep up the customer service standards, I think that goes a long way in any sort of business like that. Pizza business, all of that. I mean, that's what Roundtable was all about. They wanted to do. They didn't deliver the message so great, at least at the store that I worked, but that's what they were trying to do.
Yeah, I feel like the product was very consistent, in my opinion. Like it was very, like it was pretty much the same, every single time, like very reliable. That's like a big problem I have, aside from poor service. Like you walk in somewhere and it's just bad, where you're like, just a weird feeling instead of, I don't know, it's just something weird. But aside from that, the consistency of the product to me is like a big deal. Like there was this Hawaiian restaurant that opened up nearby and I wanted to like it. But the problem is, the price was slightly a little bit high. Reasonable, but still like a little bit high. And then it was hit or miss. One day it's like, oh, it's really good. The next time you get it, you're like, it's just weird. And then, so then about 50% of the time it was good, and 50% you were kind of regretting ordering it. So then you give up on it. So it's like, man, you guys why don't you just have like the recipe and like cook it for that time at that temperature? Consistency. What's going on back there?
Right.
So 50% of the time it's good, 100% of the time.
Exactly.
Yeah, the Anchorman math.
Yeah.
50% of the time, it's good every time. Yeah, so that's like that literally made me give up on that place. I tried it about 8 times. I gave it a good try and I said I'm done. I actually gave up. I said it's sad. I wanted to like it. Wanted to like stick with it, but no good. So, yeah, that's thinking of no good. It's like
it really, it's kind of surprising to me how many businesses kind of go out of their way to give you bad service and expect to, I don't know, stay in business and grow. It's it's odd. It's just very odd to me. It's like, okay, you're dishing out that kind of service and you actually expect to stay in business. Good luck on that one, because I, for one, am not coming back. In your case, Dustin, it was about, wasn't so much about the service. It was about really the consistency of the product. But I just have example after example after example of people in different types of businesses, horrible, absolutely horrible. And it's just like, well, future doesn't look so bright over there.
Well, yeah, like even so the consistency of the product, but then the service, like going into some retail establishment to buy clothing or something like that. Say you go to, I don't know, just I'm not going to put names, but just some, place where you buy clothes. And you go to the you get some stuff, whatever, you go to the cashier, and then they don't even really greet you. They kind of grunt a little bit. They're kind of they're not even friendly. You could tell they don't even want to be there. And that's like the representation of the company to the customer. Mm-hmm. So that you would think that you would want like the exact opposite, kind of like the Chick-fil-A thing, where the people that are dealing directly on the front lines with the customers are like smiling and nice to greet you, and they're running fast to go get your sauce, and then they mess up and you tell them they messed up. They're like, sir, a free one on the house just for you, only for you. And it lasts forever or whatever. So, so some sort of great service on the front lines. I feel like that's like the ultimate botch from like so many of these companies, like the ones where you go through a drive-through and one of these dumps, and it's literally like, you're like, what did that guy say? And then he's like, and you're like, I think that meant pull up to the window. I'm not even sure. And you go up there and he's like, you're like, then the food in there, it's not even right. It's not even the right order. You're like, you get home and you're like, this isn't even what I ordered. It's bizarre. And then you're like, yeah, and I'm going to head back there. It's like, get out of there.
No, I had that same experience. I got grunted at a fast food place. It literally grunted, like the guy didn't want to say words. It was probably just he wasn't feeling saying words that day, and it was a lot of that. It was just like, and I was like, yeah. And so then I just handed cards. I'm just trying to understand what the guy's saying because he's literally speaking in grunt, like. So that's the customer service, not to deliver.
I think one of the problems that businesses have made in the past is that their first point of contact is a lot of times one of their lower paying positions. So that's the customer's first impression of the business, is how they're greeted and how they're treated on that initial contact. And if it's not good, pretty hard to get people to come back.
Well, that comes from the top. I mean, that comes from culture too. It's like, maybe the people that you're employing are entry level workers. Maybe there's people that just got out of high school or whatnot. They need to be guided and trained on how it works. So that starts from the culture. If you go to a lot of these restaurants or fast food chains, you don't hear any high-fiving inside or anyone loving doing their work or anything. Even when I was delivering pizzas, I loved going there. I would talk to the customers when I got to the door. I was happy with all the coworkers and whatnot. I was like, dude, I have a job. Like, this is great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And Drew, your favorite is like with the, like here's in our industry, here's an example. Hello? Is this a business? Yeah, this is a business. It's like, whoa, are you like, that's a business? Like, that's just a weird way to start. Like, you would think, like a professional greeting. Like, that seems pretty good. Like answering the phone.
Hello, this is Gary. Or
Yeah,
even that's better than anything.
Kind of gets back down to what Drew was saying about training.
Yeah. But it's like, it's weird though that you would actually be like mid-career professional. Hello?
Yeah.
Like, how did you make it that far? Seriously.
Well, you take a look at the resume, and it's short-term employment times about 30, and so that explains it right there. It's called getting fired over and over and over again. It's like, dude, you got to answer the phone properly. Yeah. And the next thing you know, it's like, hello, is this a business? You're fired. Then he goes on to the next one. Same thing. It's rinse and repeat over and over and over.
Well, like the Jim Rohn stuff, he would say like you can't stay in, like he said this. He said, how long should you be in the first grade for? Like, how long? How long should your kid be in the first grade?
See, Billy Madison had an answer for that one, I think.
Back to school, to prove to Dada I am not a fool.
I got my boots tied tight. I don't get in a fight.
Oh. Yeah, so like you're supposed to be in first grade for 1 year. 1 year, not 2 years, 3 years. It's like, hello? No? Okay. Answer the phone properly? Second grade. Great. We got it. Now we move on. It's like, why are we stuck in, like, he's like, there's a reason why they make the first grade desk so small. You're not supposed to stay in there for too long. You grow out of that thing. You got to get out of there. You don't fit.
Dave, you ready to cue that up? Dave's ready to cue it up.
What time is it?
Dave's ready to cue it up. Cue it up. Cue it up. Cue it up.
All right, so that wraps up today's episode of We Blown Up, episode 6. We're all loving it. So make sure you hit that subscribe button, but we're out.
The worst episode ever.
Oh my God.
I don't think.
Thanks a lot for joining us on this episode of the We Blowing Up podcast, where me and my family are on the pursuit to blowing up our small family-owned business and taking you along for the journey. Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss out on future episodes wherever you are listening or watching. Thanks a lot, and we'll see you on the next one.